Hi there, welcome to the CDD approach. My name is Bethany Bell and I'm a canine professional. I have also worked as a behaviourist and a trainer since 2010. I just want to explain what the CDD method is and why I formulated this method. So I've been studying how our dogs can actually understand the words that we speak. And the studies that are available indicate that dogs really do understand human language. They do understand it to an extent. Now, they don't understand it as fluently as us, and obviously there will be some limitations there. But we're not exploring this enough in the dog training world and in the industry. And I think that it's time that we really started to just explore the idea, explore with language, explore speaking to our dogs and using communications and a different dynamic of this way of teaching dogs rather than just relying on training dogs. And the reason that we do this is because I've seen so many successes, not only with my own dogs, but with my clients' dogs as well. And I want to share this method. I want to really spread the word of this method, of the CDD method. So the CDD method stands for Canine Dialogue Dynamics. And it's really about this is really about connection, teaching our dogs in a way that they can actually learn rather than just relying on repetition and conditioning and reward-based or punish-based training. Now, there is actually nothing wrong with training dogs. There's nothing wrong with using rewards, but it can be used in a way where it tells our dogs how to feel. It tells our dogs what they need to do, when they need to do it, and it stops them actually thinking for themselves. So we want to really hone in on that and really get our dogs thinking and using their prefrontal cortex, using their intellectual part of the brain and not just getting stuck in emotions. And we know that this works because when we're actually working with dogs with behaviour issues, when we actually swap here's a distraction and the treats, and we're going to do desensitization, and we swap those methods for teaching methods and we bring in self-awareness, we start to bring in agency to our dogs. We start to teach them how to actually think for themselves, not just think for themselves, but how to regulate their own emotions. And we do use language, simple sentences. We do use this, and we can combine this with force-free trainer methods as well. So it's not a replacement, it's something that we can just add to, and sometimes we can replace it depending on the dog, depending on the dog's owner, depending on all these different variations. But the biggest thing about this is that it's flexible. It's something that is so dynamic, so flexible, that we can actually use this in so many different ways depending on the context of the situation. And I want to see more people communicating with their dogs, not just using one syllable words, not just having a clicker to hand to use it's a communication tool. We don't need a communication tool because we've got our language. And when we actually use our language and we use our speech and we're actually talking to our dogs, we're using a lot more body language. We're giving them much more context rather than just one syllable word where we're actually not giving away too much, because it almost becomes emotionless. There's not a lot of emotion when we are using one syllable words because it's more instructional. So instructions have their place. Sometimes we do need to instruct. I prefer the word guide because it's not about commands and click, here's my command and you're going to robotically follow me. I don't want that from a dog. I actually really just want my dog to know how to keep themselves safe and how to appropriately behave in situations where, it might not be okay to go into a cafe and jump on tables, and it might not be okay to jump on everybody that they see. But it's all individual to what we want from our dogs and what our dogs want from us. And then it's a two-way dynamic. We need to make this a two-way street, because if it's just one way and it's just us dictating what our dogs are going to do, when they're going to eat, when they're going to walk, and they don't have any choices, that becomes quite problematic. And in a huge way, I do believe that that's causing a lot of behaviour problems, because dogs are now suppressing how they really feel, suppressing their emotions and just acting out what we want them to do. Even if it is for a treat, even if they do get something really nice in return, we're still changing their actual being, their actual sense of self. And so I want to keep that sense of self from a dog, and at the same time making sure that they're staying safe and that they are behaving in a way where it's not dangerous and it's not putting others at risk and it's not inappropriate. Now, inappropriate is the best word I can really think of it, because it's not, when we are looking at social norms and how society expects dogs to behave, sometimes that is really inappropriate for a dog in itself. For dogs that naturally walk at a faster pace and we're expecting them to walk to our heel, that actually isn't a appropriate response to expect from a dog. And we do have to have it a two-way thing. So it's about compromising. You know, sometimes they need to compromise and we need to compromise. It's not a one way, I dictate everything because I hold the power over my dogs, whether I'm using force or whether I'm using rewards. We can still coerce with rewards, and we can coerce in a worse way with physical harm as well. So we need to make sure that we're actually not doing that. And I do see this a lot. I think there's some amazing trainers and amazing behaviourists who have already got this concept, and they've already got the idea that, hey, you know what, we've got to give our dogs choices, but we've also got to make sure that we're teaching our dogs choices, that we're really actually giving them the concept of making a choice and not just going, here, do you want this or this? You know, choice is multi-dimensional. We want to make sure that there are lots of different choices that they can choose. You know, it's not just this or this, because what if they don't like either, or what if they like both and they want both? So we're going to make sure that the choices are true, real choices, and through that, through giving them choices, through allowing them to make their own decisions when it's safe to do so, we're giving them such a strong sense of self, a strong sense of agency and self-confidence, and those things together can really help to not only overcome behaviour issues but also prevent them from developing in the first place. It's not just about how many training tasks I can get my dog to do. It's not about the sits, the downs. It's not about the instructions that don't make any sense. You know, like a settle needs to be in a down position when it doesn't. You know, settle, my dog can be standing and still be settled. You know, it's to do with our sense of mind, it's to do with our emotions, it's to do with how we feel. And so the CDD method is all about how the dog feels, the emotions, and how the mind really works in a point of psychology, and not just only looking within the realms of behaviorism and only looking in the realms of training and conditioning and desensitization. It's looking outside of those realms. You know, I think we're moving on. I think that there are lots of different behaviorists, there are lots of different canine professionals who are moving on the times, and they are stepping outside of that comfort zone of what we're used to. And I think that's brilliant. I think it's a fantastic thing for us all to be doing. And so this is my way of just stepping out of the comfort zone and helping to bring others along forward with me. You know, so join me, please do. I've got a website, I'll put that in a link somewhere, and we've got a Facebook page. We've got a Facebook group for the CDD method, and we've also got a free reactivity group as well for those of you who are really struggling to help your dog overcome their reactivity issues. So please do enjoy the resources, make use of them, ask me questions. I also do work one-to-one. I have programs all for different people. I've got programs for dog owners, puppy owners, people with dogs who've got behaviour problems, and dog professionals as well. Whether you're a behaviourist, trainer, groomer, walker, or any other kind of canine professional, and you want to learn the CDD way and you want to become a CDD approved, whatever your profession is, please do get in touch. We've got courses to help you, we've got programs to help you, and I will be making more videos for my YouTube channel as well.